What is something you used to strongly believe in that you no longer believe in at all? I'll go first. Splitting the check with men. Oh.
Excuse the white marks on my shirt, I have a baby. Anyway, I used to believe with my whole ass chest that men were inherently good, especially inherently good to women. I thought that most men who try to talk a big game and maybe even said things that sounded a little like abuser-ish, that they were just desperately trying to sound macho or masculine or whatever, like bosses and shit. But behind closed doors, they were actually really sweet and really they didn't want men to know how sweet and affectionate they were with their women. As it turns out, it's actually the exact opposite. I think more men are probably acting nice in front of their boys to women, but behind closed doors, they say and do some vile ass shit. I know there's gonna be some men like, what are you talking about? What are you talking about? I've posted a bunch of videos on toxic masculinity, and the responses I got were fucking disgusting. Men are more fucked up than I ever thought.
Being too understanding romantically. Let's talk about it. For the longest, I would date people for who they were and not for their circumstance in life. And my reasoning was we all have our own obstacles. We're all going through our own separate things. We all have our own stories. So I shouldn't apply that to who they are as a person, right? And boy, was I wrong, because their situation and where they are in life matters a lot. I felt like I shouldn't worry about your employment status, how much money you make, or where you live, because those are all material things and don't define you as a person, right? Wrong again, because a lot of times those things are tied into people's self-perception, self-confidence, and self-worth. It took me a very long time to understand that with people not being where they want to be in life comes a high risk of them being insecure and feeling inadequate within themselves. And if I date them, their insecurities and inadequacies can rub off on me. So I now realize that being too understanding can do more harm than good for me. And I now know that I want someone who's secure with themselves, which also means being secure where they are in life, and wanting that is okay.
Trigger warning, I will be talking about unaliving, so if that bothers you, please leave now. Something that I used to believe in wholeheartedly was self-improvement. I used to get up at 6 a.m. and work out, make a green smoothie, read, write, track my finances, listen to motivational speeches. Basically, I had done a full day before the day had even started. Then in October of 2021, I was asked to help a friend do a wellness check. We found out when we arrived that her brother had passed. He had OD'd. Inside his apartment was everything I always wanted. The furniture I wanted, the computers I wanted, the Peloton I wanted, even the books I wanted. As we went through his stuff, we found out even though he made $100K a year, he was terribly sad, terribly wanted to unalive himself. And that showed me self-improvement does not ensure happiness or a perfect life.
Being Miss Independent. I'm over it. I no longer want to do this alone. I no longer want to figure out all these problems by myself. I need some help. Let's brainstorm on some stuff. You know what, baby? That's a really good idea. I like that. Let's go with that. Even not just somebody I'm dating, my man, but also my friends and family. I'm going through a little rough spot right now. Can you come help me? I need somebody to talk to. Can I just lay up under you and be over here with you for a little while? My Miss Independent days, I could do it all by myself. Hear me roar. Over, gone. Bye-bye.
The trap of dating and marrying exclusively Black men. This is really not a diss, although I'm sure somebody's going to take it that way, and I don't care. I don't exclude Black men. All I'm saying is that once I started opening my options to include all men who treat me well, despite, regardless of their race, the math just started mathing.
Giving people the benefit of the doubt, believing in someone's potential instead of their behaviors and patterns, thinking that love will carry your relationship through, and accepting apologies without any real remorse.
Taking life seriously. This shit is a joke, and I'm gonna laugh it off.
Everything, monogamy, Christianity, specifically the homophobia that comes with it, working, being the bigger person, letting shit go, moving around people who are taking up the sidewalk. It's not gonna happen. Men, broad stroke, not wearing my bonnet outside, that white people aren't inherently both perpetrators and beneficiaries of white supremacy because of things that they have gone through in their current state of living. Respecting elders just because. The Pledge of Allegiance, child, I let that shit go in elementary school. And clearly making my hair presentable. Clearly I don't give a fuck.
If you touch a butterfly wing, you'll take off the butterfly dust. And if you take off the butterfly dust, it can no longer fly. I believed this until I was probably 16 or 17. Come to find out, it was told to me so that I didn't touch butterflies as a young child and kill them. Genius.
The idea that my pain and trauma has a purpose, that all things are working together for my good, that if I never had a problem, I would know that God could solve them. Pretty much anything that tries to redeem suffering. Ideologies like this, in my opinion, give a green light to spiritual bypassing. In other words, it keeps us from dealing with the complexities of the trauma and pain that linger long after they have been redeemed. And it warps societal imagination to believe that people have to suffer in order for some divine purpose to be revealed in them later on. These days, I'm far less interested in the idea of redeeming people's suffering than I am in contributing to a world in which people don't have to suffer or experience pain in order for them to have value or purpose.
I used to believe that in order for your love to be considered real, you had to go through some kind of pain. Like that was normalized, being in love and have to go through like toxic situations. And I think, well, I know the reason why I believed that is because every person in my life who claimed to be in love had a toxic relationship, had some sort of pain that I've witnessed that they were in. So I just identify love to be that. And that is BS. And even so, I had that as my first tattoo. I was 18 years old and I got Love is Pain right here, which is now covered up. Thank you, Jesus.
Being a strong, independent woman, I don't do that anymore. I'm a damsel in distress, okay? I can absolutely take care of myself, but I don't want to.
That being good at multiple things and not good at just one thing is a bad thing. Let me explain. Literally, since I was a kid, I've been haunted by the concept of being a master of none. You know, you might be decent at a few things, but you're not really good at one thing. People don't necessarily know you for that one thing. But recently, my friend actually told me the rest of that quote. A jack of all trades is a master of none, but oftentimes better than a master of one. I say this to say, if you don't have that one thing that you're super good at, it's okay. You can be interested in a lot of different things. And I think this really came through when it came to content creating because I didn't want to niche down. I like talking about a bunch of different things. So now I talk about my hair, my skin, I talk about my engineering journey. Shit, I even have a podcast. It is okay to not have just that one thing.
Being some overly strong and independent woman just for the sake of being strong and overly independent. No, thank you. For a list of traumas that I don't feel like getting into right now, I've always equated relying on a man or depending on a man for anything as being weak. And I'm going to be honest with you, ladies, the only thing that's ever gotten me is a man who does the bare fucking minimum and doesn't ever feel like they need to do anything for you because you got this. It sucks. I truly believe my breaking point for that whole mindset and way of thinking for me was when I was with my ex and I had worked a 13-hour shift, came home, the garbage still wasn't taken out, and this man turned to me, looked me dead in my face and said, well, you were always taking the trash out yourself before I got here, so why don't you just do it now? That's a whole nother issue. But yeah, being strong and never asking for help, not a good look.
Being overly polite and being a nice person.
Love. More specifically, reciprocated love. Even more specific, like romantic reciprocated love. I feel like my purpose in life is to just be that person that people can look back on and remember that somebody at one point in time genuinely loved them. But I have yet to receive that back. I haven't. Friendship-wise is different, but I have also had friends that were shit. But yeah, romantically, it just hasn't been a thing. It's just not a thing. It's just I love people, and they hurt me, and then they leave, and that's it. I mean, shit could change, but as of right now,
paying my creditors. I don't give a fuck no more. I just don't. It's just nothing in it for me.
Myself.
Pre-workout. 100% pre-workout. It's a waste of money. If you really want caffeine before the gym, make yourself a black cup of coffee. And if you actually want energy, eat. You're welcome. Happy savings.